This is the Gambling Commission's strategy for fairer and safer gambling. We've put consumers at the heart of this strategy. We want to protect them from gambling-related harm and keep gambling fair and safe. The strategy sets out ambitious plans over the next 3 years, and we'll realise these by working closely with industry, with our regulatory partners, and with all those with a shared interest in keeping gambling fair and safe. This strategy sets out our vision for the gambling market we want to see, one which is fairer and safer. Consumers must be able to make informed choices about their gambling and feel protected. We want consumers to feel empowered. We want them to have the right sort of information and tools to help them manage their gambling. At the moment, we think information that's available to consumers can be very difficult to find and very generic in nature. At the moment, we see technology being used in the industry, for example, to target marketing communications at consumers, and we'd like to see more investment in technology being used to help consumers to manage their gambling and to target information on a more tailored basis to the right consumers at the right time.
For many, gambling can be an enjoyable leisure activity, but for a significant number of people, it can become a problem. Our strategy seeks to address the harm that can come from gambling. By working together with the industry to build in protections, to ensure that they spot people at an early stage and intervene much sooner. By working with consumers to raise awareness of the risks that can come from gambling. And by working with partners to ensure there is proper resource for research, education and treatment. Working together, we can make a real difference to people's lives. I really hope we all grasp that opportunity.
The challenge that we see is that too often operators will start with the regulations and the letter of what licence conditions or codes of practice say, rather than really look at what the consumer wants and needs. As a result of that, we see consumer protections are sometimes designed separately from product design. And as a result, we think more needs to be done by operators to really know their customers, as that's the only way of addressing the risk of crime and social responsibility risks. To help that, we will work with operators to raise standards. We will do what we can to share best practice and give advice and guidance. But also, where necessary, we'll use our powers to the full to correct poor practice if we find it.
Lotteries, including the National Lottery, make an important contribution to society, not least through the funding they provide to sports, arts, culture, heritage and community projects across the UK. This is a crucial 3 years for the National Lottery in particular, and over that period we'll be focused firstly on the existing licence to make sure that consumers continue to be protected and that the incentives are right for Camelot, as holder of the current licence, to grow sales and returns to good causes over that period. Also over the next 3 years we'll be focused on the future of the National Lottery and the next licence competition. Critically, we also regulate society lotteries. And there we think it's important that consumers also have a greater understanding of the role society lotteries play and the contributions they make to good causes and communities across the country.
We're asking for improvements from the industry, and it's important that we make improvements ourselves as the regulator. And I think there are 3 areas I'd like to talk about: risk, data and digitisation. On risk, what we really want to do is publish a regular external sector risk outlook. And we'll know that that's been successful when we see it being used by experts, by investors, and as importantly by the industry itself. On the topic of data, we've done some great work recently on remote patterns of play. Just imagine if we asked for that information routinely, and then we could build up really great risk profiles on real customers and the outcomes that they're experiencing. And lastly, on digitisation, our vision is that applying for a personal licence should be just like taxing your car, as easy, as efficient, and as effective. So those are the ways we'd like to improve as a regulator in the coming period.